Howdy, everyone. Nestor Lecanto here, and our guest today is the president of the Guam Bankers Association, who is also a senior vice president for First Hawaiian Bank, Mr. Ed Untalan. Ed, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, Nestor. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm really happy to be on this. I actually saw you the other night. I said, oh man, that'd be a great idea if I can get on with Nestor, but you beat me to the punch. Thank you.
We appreciate your being here. Let me just ask you, first of all, what are some of the things that the banks here are doing to help out their customers in this very time of crisis?
I think it's the most important thing right now to mention to all our customers, as we've tried each independently to reach out to all our customers, is to really, first of all, stay calm, number one. Number two, banks are considered as essential services, so none of the banks are closing or shutting down to stop the service. A number of banks have decided to maybe reduce the number of operations, and primarily that's really for the safety of its staff and its customers. But most of the banks are reviewing their hours. As a lot of banks have kept the normal hours, some of them are reducing the hours simply because of the safety concerns for staff and customers. All the banks have put up notifications to the individual customers, have put up branch signage everywhere informing customers that, if they're sick, take the proper precautions, call into the branches, don't walk in. By the order of the governor, the executive order, a lot of the banks are also minimizing the number of customers that can come into the branch at a certain time. Lately, I think a couple of the banks have also decided to try to set up the manamku hours, or set aside certain hours simply for the elderly to come on in. They shouldn't be out and about, but our elderly also, we need to respect them. And we've provided certain hours where we're opening up before the regular hours so that they can come in and we can handle their transactions accordingly. So from an operational standpoint, the banks are here, the banks are solid, and the banks have already issued a lot of its notices on if you need assistance, etc., how to be able to handle it.
Yeah. So I know a number of other banks have deferred the loans, for example, loan payments, credit card payments. Can you talk about that?
The banks are here to be able to help customers, individual consumers and businesses as well. We understand completely the situation that everyone is encountering. This is a global issue. This is not just an isolated local issue. So the banks have all established, and they've always had established deferral programs, but now this is in mass at this point in time. So the banks have deferral programs for consumer if they've been laid off or they are just having certain hardships at this point in time, to come in and to be able to defer their payments. Some banks have decided to automatically elect them. Others have just saying, okay, call your banker in. Now the types of deferral programs that are available is we can push out your payments out for 90 days, and then your next payment that comes due, everything will be applied to interest only, and then it'll be then your monthly payments can continue after that, and upon maturity it'll all catch up. But everything is in place. All the banks are ready. If a consumer if you haven't received a notice yet for deferral and you're looking for deferral, I just recommend, and we highly recommend, just give your banker a call. They're ready and willing to assist in this situation.
Right. Yeah. Just don't stop payment. You need to call in, let them know that you want to get your loan or credit card deferred. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some banks have automatically deferred it. The others have held off and says, please let us know if what we can try to do. All the banks are very sensitive to the situation. The message is really, we're here to help. We're in this together. The banks are part of the community, and we want to continue to help the community, especially at this point in time.
Yeah. So Congress and the White House have been just trying to put together an economic stimulus package, and I think one part of that is to encourage banks to loan out to small businesses to keep them afloat during this time of crisis. Have you been monitoring that, and will Guam banks be participating?
All the banks will be participating. We're all anxious and waiting to see what the final result is, right? I believe it went from the Senate, now it's in Congress, and waiting to see if it's going to head towards the president. It changes constantly. At the end of the day, I know the president wants to help out all the small businesses. The banks are poised and are waiting. From the Guam side, of course, we're concerned about the timing of it all. It's not like when they approve it, automatically it's going to be made available. We have been in touch with the Small Business Administration. They are standing by. We are communicating with them constantly how we can possibly assist. For the small business or any of the businesses, I think the most important thing right now is what can be done immediately to help them. The best answer we could give them at this point is to call your banker. All the bankers on the island are standing by, ready and willing to be able to help the small businesses in whatever way they need. So we want to participate. We will participate in whatever the government decides. But during the interim, the banks are standing by waiting. In fact, I know a lot of the banks are already reaching out to their customers and trying to see what we can do. So if we haven't reached out to you, please call your banker right now.
Okay, thanks, Ed. And finally, can you have a final message out there for the community on behalf of the Bankers Association?
Yeah, two things. Number one, I'm going to be issuing a press release just updating all the banking hours, because that's constantly changing. A lot of the banks are looking at the traffic flow, and we always have to be cognizant, safety to staff, safety to customers. So I'll be issuing a press release of the latest banking hours. Number two, it's important that everyone understand and try to be cognizant of the preventive measures that people need to take just to be safe. Social distancing, number one, proper hygiene, number two. Those are the main things that people need to be informed about and really accept. And if you are stay at home, then please stay at home. We have other services available. All the banks have online banking, mobile banking, ATMs, etc. Please utilize those forms if you need anything. And if there's something that you don't necessarily need to come into the bank for, give your banker a call. They'll come up with a solution.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time, sir.
All right. Thank you. Hey, guys, stay safe.
You too. Stay safe. Stay safe, Ed.
Okay.
All right, everyone. There you have it. Mr. Ed Untalan, Senior Vice President of First Hawaiian Bank, and also the President of the Guam Bankers Association. I'm Mr. Lecanto. Thanks for watching KUAM News.